All right, everybody. So this will be a quick update on the Sienna build. But real quick, I wanted to talk about the viewers build video that's coming up. I'm going to start assembling it, but I wanted to quickly go over everybody's I have. A lot of these ended up in my junk mail, and I almost missed a few of them, so I'm just afraid I missed somebody. So what I'm going to do is just read off a first name and a location, or maybe what your vehicle is. And if you submitted info to me, but you didn't hear your name, resubmit it. I apologize. So we got Joe with the fire truck camper. And by the way, guys, you guys have a lot to look forward here. These are some really cool builds. Adam from Wisconsin. And again, guys, I apologize for those who had submitted it. I think I might have not replied to all your emails, and I apologize. Jeff from North Carolina. And, sorry, I'm reading names. What do we got here? Dave from Pittsburgh. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I can't find the name on this one. But this is email of Cordis. I'm sorry, I just skimmed that email. If I missed your name in there, I apologize. And, oh, this is a particularly cool one here. Brad, I got yours. Steve, I've got yours. And last but not least, Dennis, I have yours. So, sorry about that. But if you did not hear your name in there, I apologize. Resend me that email. Like I said, a bunch went to my junk mail, so I almost missed a few. But I think I have you. But I hope to get that video out in the next couple days to a week. Well, let's go take a look at the minimal updates on the Sienna. All right, now to the Sienna. As a side note, I am just baking out here. It is hot in Las Vegas. All right, so in the previous video, you guys saw that I got the lift on, and that was a pretty big task unto itself. I got those new Yokohama all-terrain tires on there, and I took it to get a alignment, and I've been just kind of, everything's going good with the lift and everything. I've just been kind of tinkering on a few little things that come up anytime you do a big job like this. But the next part of the project is going to be the bed platform, which is what you guys see the skeleton of here. Of course, it's not finished. I talked about this in my intro video. There is a lot bigger and more thriving community of people building these minivans. Sienna is a real popular one, but of course, there's people who've done the Odysseys and other variety of ones. And to be honest with you, there's really only about 3 or 4 main patterns of how people lay these out. So the general layout of this in a very broad sense is I'll have a bed platform that converts into a couch. And we see this a lot in these builds. This is a very common setup for good reason. The length that you see right here, this is it extended into the bed shape. So it will be about 74 inches long and 38 inches side to side. This is not permanently affixed right now, so this will be leveled out. This is just kind of sitting in here for mock-up purposes. But the general layout in here is the bed will sit more toward the passenger side as it's positioned now, which will leave a wider area over to the driver's side. And there will essentially be a cabinet that runs up to this wall across the ceiling. It'll drop down in that front window. There'll be a cabinet that goes straight back to the driver's seat. The sink will be there. There'll be some storage up here. I haven't made up my mind yet, but either the battery and all the electronics will sit here, or they'll sit somewhere down in this pretty sizable storage down here. And most likely, I will also build a smaller cabinet up in this corner here. Nothing too groundbreaking. I mean, we've seen that layout in a lot of minivans, and it's for good reason. I ran a lot of the different styles through my mind, and there's some good points on all of them. But for the kind of things that I wanted, this just made the most sense. So my thought process was, though, getting the bed platform built is going to kind of I think, going to be the central piece that dictates the rest of the build. Now, on a lot of these minivan builds, they really come up in 4 or 5 main components. There's whatever the bad platform is, the side cabinetry, which I'll kind of consider as 2 separate parts, because usually they're asymmetrical, not always, but typically. And then the fourth and final part is typically most of these have some sort of floor built into the front up here, and the reason is these darn rails here. At least in the Sienna, there's not really a good way to remove them short of, from what I understand, dropping the fuel tank and stuff like that, which I'm not going to do. And so what most people kind of do is just build like a floor over the top of it. It also, is a good platform. A lot of people like a hard surface. I probably won't, but it also is a good way to kind of lock together all the other components. So I was trying to avoid building a floor, but I think I might have to do it. I guess the elephant in the room in here is obviously I took out the chairs. The front row behind the driver and passenger seat there, you basically just lifted up a lever and they just stepped out. And the third row right here that would tuck into this storage, you basically just undo a few bolts down there and they lift out. It was a pretty easy job. One of the front chairs up in the front kind of got stuck, and I had to, that's kind of a long story, but I had to like get in there with my hands and move some of the levers and stuff. So it took a little bit of work, but that was just because of that particular one got stuck, but normally they would just lift out. Surprisingly, all of the seats that were in mine weighed, it was probably about 250 plus pounds of weight. So just getting all those chairs out of there cut so much weight that the I don't know if you could tell here, but the back end actually raked up a little bit, and it actually it's a little less smooth now when you drive it around with all that weight in there. I thought it was kind of funny that just a couple 100 pounds made that big of a difference. But the nice thing about it though is the build I'll put in here, I don't think will weigh much more than the weight of the chair, so I should kind of even out. Kind of as a follow-up to the gas mileage, I haven't taken any official measurements. This is since I put on the bigger tires in the lift, but just from my estimator, it's looking like I'm losing about 1 mile per gallon, which is pretty expected. That's kind of what they thought. And if you're just tuning in, I put a 2-inch lift kit on here and 1 step larger tires, so to give it a little bit of off-road capability. And I started kind of getting some of the supplies together. It's funny, these are those baby traction boards right here. I've used them on a couple of my other builds. This little cubby right here, which was a jump seat, all that stuff just happened to fit perfectly, so I'm going to try to integrate that in. All right, so let's get to this bed though. So this, as it's positioned here, this is in bed mode. Now this part is on big, I think they're like 500-pound slides. They're real heavy-duty slides. This goes in. So, and this obviously narrows it up and opens up a lot of space right here in the center area. And this would be the length when it's in couch mode. So what will essentially happen is I'm going to have a platform across here with a lift off top, because there is some storage down in here, quite a bit of it. There will be 4 total pieces. So there'll be a piece over this, a piece over this, a piece over that. There'll be a little spacer and then a piece in the back. These 2 center pieces are going to be hinged in the center, and they're going to be attached to this, and then in the back in that spacer piece right there. And what that means is when you push this bed in, those 2 center pieces will kind of accordion in on each other, if you will, and create the backrest for the couch. And then in the back here, I'm waiting on some additional drawer slides, but this piece will be on drawer slides back here. It will have a lid right here that opens up, but the nice thing is if you have the back of this opened, and imagine the drawer slides here, this will pull out and it will be a flat cooktop surface, and then this will push in when you shut the door in bed mode. I won't get into how I'm going to do the cushions, but I'm going to do something a little bit unique that I tried in the trailer, and it actually worked out pretty well. If everything I said made no sense to you, don't worry. It doesn't make sense to me either. I'm joking a little bit, but not much. I think the bed's going to be pretty cool. Again, it's maybe I haven't seen one that's going to have exactly every single feature that this one has, but I've seen a couple builds that have very similar things. So nothing, no groundbreaking science here, but just working off some good models of the things people have built that worked well. So, all right, guys, in a nutshell, that's it, though. I will be probably taking a little bit of a break on this. So if you don't see a video next week, it'll probably be the viewers rigs video. If you didn't hear your name called in the beginning of the video and you had submitted stuff to me, I apologize. Resend it to me, and I'll be assembling that video shortly. Thank you guys for everything, and appreciate all your viewership.